Is happiness a goal or a journey? Happiness, a good balance between goal setting and immediate pleasure. Happiness is defined as a condition of long-lasting fulfillment and joy, in which the individual feels positive about their life and has found a meaning to their existence. Beyond this definition, though, happiness is hardly experienced as a stable or permanent state in real life. This is the reason why people are oftentimes convinced that they will find happiness once they achieve a key milestone either in their career or in personal life. Let us think about it. On a weekly basis, this is something we all do. For many of us, Sunday is the surrogate of the closest goal we desperately wish to achieve. We work the whole week waiting for this day. On Sunday, we will finally have some rest and find happiness. But when Sunday comes, we are troubled because on Monday, we will have to get to work again. This feeling is so pervading that it has been vulgarly called called Sunday blues. But can we break this vicious and apparently inevitable cycle? According to the Italian writer and poet Giacomo Leopardi, actually pretty funny, the happiest moment of the week is the evening of the day that anticipates the festive day. In this poem, Il Sabato del Villaggio, translated Saturday night in the village, at nightfall the inhabitants of a small rural village dream of the next day. A feast will take place in the main square and all of them will participate. While the young lady walks light-hearted, the old lady remembers her youth. The carpenter works more vigorously and tenaciously because he will soon have time to rest. But when the festive day comes, the inhabitants of the small rural village return to think about their usual job. Although it may seem like a paradox, Leopardi is telling us that people are happy when they wait for their happiness to come. We will get back this in a while. But I would say this as well, because I've seen and experienced it as well. In this poem, Felicità raggiunta, translated happiness attained, Eugenio Montale, another Italian poet, describes happiness as a fading condition that once attained immediately vanishes. In his words, we all are like kids with their colored balloons, the happiest creatures of Earth or on Earth, but the balloons will soon slip through our weak fingers and disappear into the sky. At this point, everything seems to suggest that happiness is just a fantasy that reveals its illusory nature precisely when humans embrace it. But what if, instead, Giacomo Leopardi and Eugenio Montale were trying to tell us that we are seeking for happiness in the wrong place? People are happy when they wait for the happiness to come. Happiness can be found in the journey required to achieve happiness itself. Instead of picturing happiness as a final fixed goal to be achieved, we should rather picture it as the force that drives us towards the goal. To explain this distinction, psychologists differentiate between extrinsic values and intrinsic values. Examples of the former ones are obtaining a promotion or finding the perfect relationship, becoming famous or rich. Even the aforementioned desire for Sunday can be pictured as an external goal. Examples of the later ones are obtaining personal development or a sense of belonging. Intriguingly, extensive literature shows that when individuals are focused on the achievement of external goals, they drastically lose interest in the intrinsic activities they perform to pursue such goals. While extrinsic values are processed as immobile, discrete checkpoints over a lifetime, intrinsic values are lived as a dynamic experience that can elongate the duration of associated emotions and feelings, including happiness. There is more to say. Doubtless, the attainment of an external goal, such as a career promotion, can generate a flush of happiness. However, this hardly lasts over time. People tend to emotionally adapt to their new standards, no longer experiencing the initial improvements in their emotional state. This could prompt them into immediately set higher standards to acquire a new sensation of happiness, establishing a frustrating vicious cycle of, okay, I want to get this, I want to get that, I have to get this, I have to be that person, so I can finally be happy. That said, all these evidences should not convince us that an equilibrated and healthy goal-oriented lifestyle is deleterious. Goal setting represents a useful strategy to stimulate behavior change, to explore new directions, and ultimately satisfy needs that are in accordance to personal interests and values. It is therefore essential to find a good balance between extrinsic goals and intrinsic pleasure. In other words, Pursuing external goals could represent a valuable chance to explore multiple and novel intrinsic values and activities. For instance, recent findings suggest that engaging with social activities that promote interpersonal equilibrium and positive connection with others are good ways to find happiness because they increase individuals' well-being. Giacomo Leopardi would probably tell us that what matters is not attaining happiness, but rather finding happy strategies to attain. Pretty amazing article. Really, really amazing article by Simone Redaili is completing his PhD in regenerative medicine at the University of Ulm in Germany or Deutschland. You know, yeah, I mean, happiness is going to be one of the things that we all are, that we all are always going to search for. And also science is always going to try to kind of figure out where it is coming from, what we can be doing to attain it, and so on. But I think in the end, I don't know. Like, of course, we are probably always going to look forward to the weekends. Even though I always thought, like, well, if you have a job that you really tremendously enjoy, then you're not going to just look forward to the weekends. But, well, yeah. Well, in the end, I gotta have to say that it's really often been the case for me that especially in school, I thought, well, I really am looking forward to the weekend. School is stressful, the week is pretty tough and pretty hard, and I feel like exhausted and whatnot, which is something in very recent days, actually this week, happened to me. Just really, yeah, happened to me. Like I really exhausted myself. And the problem there is that if you do that, then why, first of all, what's the quality of life then if you do that? I think that we should always balance, like, okay, our goals and our quality of life. Do you really want to just feel so fucking shitty, but get to your goal like a week prior or just 2 weeks prior, but you felt so miserable the whole entire time long? Instead of, okay, just being a little bit miserable, a little bit of a, whatever it might be, a little bit of feeling bad for the sake of just doing it a bit longer, but you're not gonna die or feel like you're dying. And I don't know, like, it's something that I have to figure out, something that I have to figure out how I'm gonna do it in the best way so that I'm not fucking myself and not just killing myself, basically, for the sake of, okay, there's going to be the weekend and so on. And in the end, I'm just having to use the weekend for recovery because I'm so fucked, quite, And, yeah, it's a difficult topic, it's a difficult thing, but it is what it is, It is what it is. But in the end, what I want to say is that as I was in school, I was always looking forward to the weekends. But once the weekend was there, I, sat down and thought, well, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now that very often there's not been something that I were able to look forward to. Like, doing something with other people was not that often the case, especially prior to my girlfriend and post-girlfriend time, of course, when you're having a boyfriend or girlfriend, you're going to spend the weekend probably with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. And yeah, and so I would also say that something that makes me happy is something to look forward to. Okay, yeah, cool, I'm going to spend my precious time with my girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. This is something to look forward to, and it also put my mind on ease in these times because I didn't really have to think about doing something else. I had the podcast, I had the YouTube, I had everything else, so I was working till just taking the train to my girlfriend's place, and so on and so on and so on. Yeah, and then yeah. And then I had this time, and then I went home, and then the week started already. Like, I would say that having something to look forward to and just kind of always having a plan, whatever it might be, though, You could also plan like, okay, on this day I'm gonna play some games, and this is something that I do, or just I would also say restricting oneself. Like, okay, I'm gonna restrict myself from watching any series or any TV during the week, so that it is gonna be something quote unquote special for me in the weekend or on the weekends that I can do then. If this makes sense for you, I don't know, but I think it is a relatively good idea. Interestingly enough, during the week I actually just really don't. Well, I do watch YouTube, and for the sake of not sleeping enough, then, which is pretty dumb, but yeah, I always think and talk about active recovery and passive recovery. Active recovery or resting being, doing something that you tremendously like, and passive being sleeping enough. But yeah, I'm gonna end the episode there. So I wish you the best health, full of happiness, and all success, and also hope that you're gonna mind yourself and you're gonna be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person and then being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. Now I guess that I'm gonna go outside even though it is raining, but I do hope to bring with me some podcasts, something to listen to, something of interest. Probably gonna be Tim Ferriss, I guess, and then walking around, which is something that I actually quite enjoy. And yeah, but well, gonna see you the next time. So bye bye. I wish you the best health, of happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're gonna remind yourself and you're gonna be remembered. This basically means your legacy, basically means just being a nice person, then being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty fucking cool thing as well. What could you also do and say to another person that is indeed gonna change their life? And with that being said, bye bye, and please take care of yourself, your family members, and all of your loved ones.